not gonna start a business. I'm a reasonable person. I'm making smart decisions. So the smart decision is to work smart. Fear! Let's talk about fear. I like fear. I like fear. Do you like fear? If you like fear, I like fear, you like fear, we can be friends. Whatever. Like, what the fuck? Why would I start a video like this? Because it doesn't make sense. Nobody likes fear. So if you don't like fear, I don't like fear. Actually, that's the truth. I don't like fear. We can be friends. Anyways, you know, fear hijacks, man. Fear hijacks your brain. So actually, you don't have a brain. When you're fearful, you don't have a brain. Do you realize that? I hope you do, because it's very dangerous. Fear just hijacks your brain, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna be a friend with your brain, and you don't have a brain anymore. Fear hijacked that brain. You don't have a brain. Nothing. Every cell, every bone of your body just wants to escape from whatever it is fearful from. It just wants to escape. It just wants to escape that situation. And I just realized that a lot of people are living in fear. They don't even know they're living in fear, but they're constantly trying to escape. And guess what? I am probably living in fear all the fucking time. You know? I don't even fucking know it. I'm just asking myself, am I living in fear or am I delusional? Probably I'm a delusional. You know? Am I living in fear? Probably. Yeah. You know, because the most dangerous type of fear is the one that we are accustomed to. It just conceals itself as logic. You know, it's just gonna be like, it's a logical thing. It's a logical thing. You know, you're just gonna reason with your brain that something it's logical. It's not born out of fear. Let me give you an example. Because I'm terrible with examples, so let me give you an example. You want to start a business. That's fucking terrible. Why would you want to start a business? That's what your brain is telling you about. And you're like, you're right. Why would I start a business? I'm not going to start a business. I'm a reasonable person. I'm making smart decisions. So the smart decision is to work smart. So I'm going to work smart. I'm not fearful. I can start 3 businesses in the next 3 hours if I wanted to. That's what you say to yourself. But no, fear hijacked your brain. Fear thinks that you're gonna end up on the street, that you won't have any money. And guess what? That's the most likely outcome of starting a business, I know. You know, it's a terrible thing. You gotta be very, very, very risk tolerant. You gotta be very even fear tolerant. I don't know what that means, and I don't know how to be risk tolerant or fear tolerant. I don't know, maybe you're born with it or not, or you train it. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet, but I will in the future because that's what I'm thinking about all the time. Am I living in fear myself? Am I just logical person? Logical person, whatever that means. I think logical person actually means a fearful person, but it's so disguised, you have no fucking idea that you're just living in fear. It's very dangerous, man. Fear is very dangerous because if fear hijacks your brain, you don't have a brain. So you're not even gonna think. You're not even gonna think whether you're living in fear or not. You're just living in fear without a brain because fear just hijacked your brain. It's fight or flight. It's the fight or flight instinct that we have for survival. You either fight the animal that tries to eat you or you run from the animal that tries to eat you. And I think there's a third one, which is freeze, and you just freeze, you know, and you just play dead, hoping that the animal is just gonna go away on its own. Hoping that the animal is not hungry enough. I don't think the animals think that you're dead. The animal just is either hungry or not. Or sometimes it's kind of like, it's not worth it, this motherfucker. I'm gonna spare him. You know, I'm gonna spare his life. You know, sometimes maybe the animal thinks like that. But the animal in this case is not an actual animal. It's something else. It's bills. It's reputation. It's relationships. That's about that. I don't have any more examples, but you can add so many animals here that we're fighting in the modern world. We're afraid of them. But we don't have a brain because fear hijacked our brain, and now we don't have a brain, so we are not even aware that we are living in fear. We're just living. We think we're logical. We're not. We are, kind of, yeah, but we're actually not. We cannot decide because fear hijacked our brain. We cannot think whether we are logical or not. We're just fearful. We don't even know it. And that's terrible. Though that's the fear that I'm very, very much afraid of. The fear that disguised itself as reason. The fear that disguised itself as logic. So it's a terrible thing, man. It's a terrible thing. And if you're fearful, if you're living in that fear mode, well, that fear just hijacked your brain. You cannot do anything. I really don't know how to get out of this situation. Maybe actually, the fear actually hijacked my brain, and this is what it's left over. You know, maybe I don't have a brain anymore. Maybe I'm actually living in fear, and this is just a cry for help. You never know. We'll never know unless I get my brain back. Fear, come on, give it to me back, please. Maybe if I say it nicely, please.